Hello, hello. Whoops. I never turned that on, huh? There we go. I forgot something. Okay, so I'm back. Hi, Sinicello. Hey, Hideo. So, what are we doing today? Adam is going to work on the ending cutscene for the game. He's only got maybe like 2 hours, 2 hours to stream. The appointment this morning threw everything off. Sorry. Uh, the newest animated emote is Adam Mad Skell. Hearing better now? Yeah. So that appointment was much longer than I thought it would be, although that wasn't the entirety of the time I was gone. I was also in the neighborhood of some friends at the time, so I got lunch with them. And then, yeah, so the appointment was supposed to end at 11:40. By the time I got out of the place, it was 12:30. And currently, just for a frame of reference, it's an hour and 15 minutes after that. So, like, I got lunch, I got back home, screen frozen, screen frozen. Yes, everything's wrong with the stream. There we go. Yeah. Appreciate it, Carson. The way I ran when I happened to be up for a snack, right when I heard a Discord noise. I mean, yesterday a pretzel got first after like an hour of the stream or something, I think. I forgot exactly what it was. All right, so I forgot where we left off, but I was working on the cutscene and I probably wrote in my notes where I left off. But let's just take a look at what we have so far. It's not going to look perfect. So I don't feel so good. This adventure's walking into your town, gets to your skeleton. I've got just the thing. I think there should probably be some amount of time in between that. Yeah, we need sound effects for this stuff. Sound effects for drinking the potion. The timing feels wrong, though. Get sound effect for drinking the potion. Do we even have a sound effect for that, I wonder? Home, download, Leo, pause, RGI, drink? Potion? Water? Gulp? I don't know. All right, no, we don't have any of those. I wonder if we have anything even close. I could maybe just find a free sound for that. Oh, in fact, I used one for the Skelarap. Yeah, I should write that down. I found one for the Skelarap. It should be CC0. But that's unimportant right now. We're not going to do sound stuff yet. Also, sound stuff should be pretty easy. Okay, adventure should be in the standing pose after reaching the destination. Let's go do that. Yeah, we have a lot of little things we got to do. So this character moves over here. And then when they stop moving, which is right there, they should enter their standing animation. Hey, Chef Alton. How did I do this anywhere else that we needed to do this? Intro, shop, stand, make main character stand facing up. Yeah. All right. So we'll make a new one over here. This will be make adventurer stand facing right. Adventurer and right. Good. Okay, now I have to click build and it'll show up. I'm going to call that function exactly here. Good. It won't show there, but that should do it. Okay, next, set life bar less than 100%. So how do we do this in intro battle? We actually make a health component? Wow. I made a proper life bar? Did I make a life bar here? I did. It's called player life bar, though. Here it should probably just be called... There's only one life bar, so let's just call it life bar. Okay. Now let's go plug all those things in. Yeah, this is a lot of grunt work, but I think it's kind of interesting. It's slightly different grunt work from the stuff I normally do. So we're going to call this just life bar. And then we need to make a health component here. Interesting. And then initialize it. All right, this should not be called an enemy health component. We'll just call it a health component. We don't need to do that. And then we initialize the life bar with the health component. So we started at 100, but I think then the intro shop scene starts it at a lower number. We started at 6. All right, so what should we start this one at? Life equals, I don't know, 20? Maybe it should also start at 6. Then we need to change these every once in a while. So there's damage enemy. There should be a poison player somewhere. Deal poison to player. Here it is. Now let's take this. I think this might make a sound as well. Definitely spawns text. This is player health component. This now needs to just be health component. Poison damage amount. Where's that come from? Just const float 2. Okay, whatever. I'll write this in my cleanup stuff. Address to do items. Put this somewhere common. Isn't this something that already should exist in... Yeah, it exists in... Oh, we pull it from intro battle. Okay, fine. Intro battle. All right, now we need the camera. The poison damage amount. Which is, yeah, that. Everything else there looks good. So that's deal poison to player. That is something... Oh, this is just deal poison to adventurer now. But this is something that needs to be called every so often. Look who's back. Hey again, Leap Your Girl. How you feeling today? Did today get better? You said you were in an unknown mood earlier. So we call this on a timer. If I'm not mistaken. Start scene... Deal, where's deal poison damage? It's too hard to read this. There it is, deal poison to player. How often do we do this? 5.5, 7.5, so every 2 seconds. So every 2 seconds we need to do this. But I don't know if we should do it from inside the scene or just make a timer and have it do it every 2 seconds. The choices, the choices. We can have multiple tracks for functions, yeah. I don't know how I do that, but I know we can do it. I guess we just add another function track. Put it here. Yeah, nice. All right, so this would be for poison damage. Just got to do it every 2 seconds. Poison. So let's just align it to the 1 second mark. And then duplicate it, duplicate it, duplicate it. And at some point, he's going to drink the antidote and he won't be poisoned anymore. There. Okay, so this one should be at 3. This one should be at 5. This one should be at 7. 9. 11. When does he drink the potion? Animation there. Glug, 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 glug. Probably it should take effect immediately, right? So like we shouldn't deal poison damage again. So just delete this one. Still not believing I'm going to have a job somewhere next year. Holidays are coming up, plus running behind on several projects. My ADHD is AD4K. It's a pretty good joke. Yeah, it's cool. So is it definite? Because I want to know when I can celebrate. All right, so they should go into the stand animation. There's the poison damage. They should stand now. Yeah. This is all happening too fast, I think. Then they drink this. The poison damage stops. The poison damage is also now misaligned. That's going to be a problem. Poison particles are misaligned from the drinking potion animation. The shadow is too. So I think we need to change the sprite sheet. It shouldn't be that hard to do. Oh no, we don't even need to. The shadow's in a. Oh yeah, I can just add some padding on the side of this. I can do that pretty quickly, but let's not worry about that now. Let's look at this again. So set life bar to less than 100%. It's doing damage, right? Like we can see the life ticking down. I didn't actually look. But it starts at 20, so it should be 1/5 full. And then, yep, it's going down. Yeah, okay. Make them take poison damage, hide the poison at the right time. That we haven't done. So somewhere after drinking this, we enter an animation, and I can't test the timing of this, unfortunately. So let's just put it somewhere. Add track, property, poison effect, modulate. All right, so put a key there and put a key there and make this go down to 0. And you know what? How about as soon as they start drinking it, let's just have it slowly fade out. That's probably decent, right? Yeah. Hey, player. Not dubbing it yet, mainly because the project it falls under is still in the startup phase. Celebrate for sure once I get the proper contract. Till then, I start as Volunteer Plus, small pay on January 5th. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, very cool. I'm excited. I hope 2026 brings great things for everybody. All right, so the poison number should probably go below that. All right, so they start drinking. The poison slowly fades away. They're not drinking. Why are they not drinking? What's happening? What's happening? There's no error showing here. But the animation didn't play. That's because I didn't click reset. Also, where are we creating these floating text effects? In canvas layer? I guess we could, no. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Hey, Alex. Yeah, it went well. Yeah. My wish for 2026 is to never have a job again. Card games paying off. Why don't they drink it? Why are they not drinking it? It says drink potion here, and it's on animated sprite 2D, which is right there. What am I missing? Oh, maybe. I think something's wrong with this reset thing. Become a filmmaker? No. No. No, I don't see what's wrong here. I don't actually know what I'm doing wrong. Time is set correctly. This thing, maybe it's because, oh, I think I know what we did. I think when we set something to standing, it does something to the, yeah, it calls stop. I think we need to call play. Yeah. Okay. I understand. So how do we do that? Can we just call a method on the animation and have it be play? Play string name, play backwards. Arg string name, drink potion. So I want that exactly where this was. I don't know what the other arguments are. Does it tell me? I guess we can just do it here. Play takes in 3 arguments. Custom speed and from end. Okay, yeah, I don't care about that stuff. So I guess just delete this one. Okay, so now they should actually drink the potion. Skeleton does not have animations yet. I gotta do that. Love it. Just probably speed up the end. I gotta stop the looping. Where's looping? There. All right, so skeleton's missing animations. The skeleton is missing animations. I'll write this at the end for cleanup. Make sure the poison is hidden at the right time in after drinking the potion. All right, skeleton animations. So the timing is wrong. Like, I don't think it's super clear what's happening. I also think this should fade in. Yeah. We should probably get the fade in to work. What's responsible for even doing that? Did intro do it? Fade in and fade out. We fade in the skip button. I mean, we could just search for this and find it. Here it is. Start scene. Fade in. And then play start scene. Oh, this isn't even being called. That's why none of this is happening. The animation player should not be set to auto. Yeah. So what calls start scene? Intro calls it on a specific scene. And we gotta make sure to queue free this thing. Can't we just do that here? Don't think I'm gonna make any money for my game, but even if I did, I don't know what I'd do because I need a work visa to not live in the bad place. Oh, that was super messed up. Gotta look at that again. Definitely need a way to get out of the job market in the next few years. It's causing me immeasurable suffering. Is there any other job or location that might be good? Because there are a lot of variables in that equation. All right, well, that looks very messed up. We're going to have a problem, aren't we? I think we are. But I fade in the whole scene. Isn't there no reason to do that? Can't I fade out a black rectangle? Fade in the scene. Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to go find a black rectangle and fade it out. So how would we do that? Add a texture rectangle. And this will cover the entire screen. And it needs to be texture, I guess a gradient. Yeah. I don't actually need there to be a gradient. It's just going to be black. So there, now it's black and it's covering the whole screen. And now what we want to do is make it so that when you fade in the scene, this thing is going away. So I guess we don't do this thing at all anymore. Scene, transitions, tween interval, fade in delay. I could do this either way. Yeah, let's do that. So, like, screen cover. Sure. So that is a texture rectangle. Private texture rect screen cover. Although all we really care about is that it's a control. So now in start scene, we're going to do this stuff. We're going to say, did I fetch that? I didn't. Hey, Rami. Well, it's not really late stream. I've only been streaming for 19 minutes now because I messed up my start time due to an appointment, but I'm very glad I had that appointment. All right, so this is going to be show. Yeah, because it's hidden by default. And then we're going to fade it in. No, fade it out. With the fade in duration because of how this thing works. So we're not even fading this in. We're fading out screen cover. I hope this looks good. Let's go try it out. All right, that's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. We're just looking at the fade in that happens there. I think it's dark for too long. There are many variables. Complicated problem. Don't want to take over the stream. Basically, it's just that people won't give me a visa for entry-level positions in other industries, and I can't retain myself or retrain myself in another field while also having a full-time job. Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand. I think these things are complex. And I think, like, well, I don't need to think this. I think that there's a best fit for everybody that you might never find with the parameters you have, even just realistic parameters, right? Like, okay, I can't, let's say you have 3 jobs and that's it. This is the only 3 jobs that are available, 3 job opportunities. One of those is probably the best job for you. Will you be able to even try all 3 though? And most people have more than 3 job opportunities, or like the way to form those jobs or different paths they could take. Can't believe you were late to start stream. Better have a good excuse. Don't let it happen again. Hey, Skitter Cat, thanks for the resub. I won't let it happen again. Never again. Never late. Okay. So I think the fade in's taking a little bit too long. How long is this? 2 seconds. 2 seconds. All right, let's use the fade out duration. Although actually, aren't we waiting before we're doing this? I wonder why. I don't think we need this part. I think we're waiting 4 seconds. I use Fruit Loop Studio. Yeah. I don't think I've ever used Ableton, or if I have, it's for a very short amount of time. Okay, that looks a lot better. All right, so adventurers walking into town. I don't feel so good. I got just the thing. Give them a potion. They drink the potion. They're no longer poisoned. Yeah, so still a lot of little things left to do. Skeleton's missing animations. Let's go fix that. So the skeleton starts walking right there. Up until then, they should be in a standing position. I hope he has good insurance. Oh, that adventurer has an HSA. Wait until you see the rest of the outro. It's very long. We get into a lot of touchy topics. All right, so somewhere there's a set stand or stand facing. Yeah, this. So in ready, I want the skeleton to stand facing left. I kind of like them facing the screen. I'm not sure. While they're waiting for the adventure, yeah, they should probably face left. So this will be skeleton.stand facing left. And then they're going to need to go get a potion. So we need to change the skeleton's animation at exactly 5.4. We don't have the skeleton's animation, do we? No, we don't. But now we do. Add, it's not even a property, it's a method. Method on the skeleton sprite. And we put that right there. Insert key, play. All right. So what do we call this? Facing right? That it better be correct. Yeah, it is. Oh, but it's not a skeleton facing right. Oh no. I never changed any of these. Thanks, hard worker. For a price. There'll be a price involved. Damage number slowly changes from 2 to 1 to 0. That's actually a pretty good idea. Actually, it is kind of interesting because this isn't really how I've ever seen antidotes work in video games. It's usually a Boolean of like you're poisoned or you're not poisoned. And then if you're poisoned, there's some float associated with it, right? Like, oh, I'm going to take 7.2 damage per second. But it goes from 7.2 down to, okay, well, now you're not poisoned, so it's going to be 0. I've never seen it go from like, well, it's 7.2 down to 4.7, down to 2.1, down to 0 or something like that. When you have an item that just dropped out of the portal, you can hover it over the slime to see how much it'll sell for. But if that same item is currently for sale in a shop and you take it and hover it over the slime, it won't say how much it'll sell for. It should say how much in that case. Let me find... Oh, these problems are always going to show up here. I didn't even think about this. Well, we're gonna have to do something about that at some point. All right, let me take a look at what Carson's talking about though. Oh, whoops! I was supposed to do that. All right, they're gonna fail the build. Oh, interesting. Okay, so other games do that. So yeah, what Carson's talking about is when you have an item that dropped out of the portal and you have the slime. So you do something like this, and we have it in the shop. So if I take this and hover over, it says 3. But if I take it from here and hover over, it should still say 3. Hey, Ezra. Thanks for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I don't have a command for that. There's the Twitch command though that we can use, which I should have had you test that, Raimi, to see if that's something you can do. I don't know if mods can use that command. But yeah, welcome in, everyone. Hey, Rodrigo. Hey, Benofi. I'll show you how that works. Yeah, a lot of people have that command. I just don't happen to. How goes the demo? It's going pretty well. You did it. It says you have to wait 1 hour before. Oh. I thought that was me doing it because I typed it at the same time. That's weird. Mine doesn't. Can you take a video, Carson? I'm curious about that. And yeah, Ezra, what are you streaming? Whoops, I accidentally clicked your stream. I guess I can find out. Game dev, pixel artist, streamer. Are you working on a game right now? Indie dev believes in learning through experimentation. Okay, just looking at this. First Koto game, Starry Sky Scramble. Neat. Yeah, welcome in. I thought I said it right. It's over. Now you know you didn't. Yeah, so anyway, this is Skella Cellar. We're working on the end scene for this. And I'll do a little demo of the game. Sorry, there was one thing I needed to check before this. What was it? Oh yeah, the potion thing. We already checked that. Okay, anyway, the quick intro of the game is that you were an adventurer and you died. So now you hire other adventurers to go on quest for you pretty much. And they get into automatic battles. And when they win, you will get some items out of this portal here. And you can go stock it in your shops. You can feed it to this little garbage slime here. And you get money and you use that to build up your town and everything. So we're probably about 3 months away from launch on this. Actually, a little less at this point. Yeah, probably a little less at this point. So this game's coming out sort of soon. And we have a lot of the gameplay and everything figured out. Like I said, we're working on the end cutscene today. So right now what we have is this. So the end cutscene is that another adventurer comes into your town who's poisoned. And you have an antidote for them, which you then give them. I've got to fix these animations. And they drink it. And they're just like, yeah, of course you'd have an antidote. But you died in the very first scene of the game because you didn't have an antidote. Working on a rhythm typing cafe game. Just got done with planning how to rework the tutorial. Nice. Yeah. Is there a Steam wishlist? Yeah, there is. Let me link that in. And did I miss something else in chat? No, I don't think so. Main character must have been really bad because other adventurers didn't die. Yeah, just poison. That's all that kills. Did you fix the plot hole where the potion seller at the start of the game could have just gotten you a health potion? Nope. Would have been kicking the can down the road. I think medical bankruptcy is a thing in Skella Cellar too. Version ruined. All right, so we got to fix up all these animations. So let's go do that. This is the facing left. Let's get all of these. Main worker. 16 by 20. Don't want to have to type this in every single time. And it's facing left, so we take those 3 and copy this one. Now facing right, same thing. We just got to do this with all of these. Did I? Oh, I made these unique. Okay, I see. Facing right is there. Duplicate that one. And facing up. I don't even think we're going to use facing up, but I might as well add it in. There. Okay, this shouldn't matter. I guess we can delete that. Death. You're not going to die again. You're already dead. Default shouldn't really even exist. Skella walk right. I guess delete that one. Skellification. Delete that one. and sleeping. I still love that. But yeah, delete that one too. Okay, so now I think we have the correct walking animation when they walk to the right, but not when they walk to the left. So first they walk over here. It's not going to show up in the editor, but that should be the correct one. Then they grab the potion, at which point they should have the standing animation probably. No, that's going to be annoying. Yeah, it's going to be annoying. I think on the third tweak. Yeah, tutorials are tough. And sure, hard worker. Yeah, what's the update? Yeah, for the last game I made on stream, Botland, well, the full game that I made, we spent a long time with what does the tutorial content look like? How do we introduce people to the game? And it was a very complex game. So there was a lot to teach people about, and it was hard to know that they learned the right thing. Yeah, so the best thing I think you can possibly do is teach by having them do that thing. And ideally, don't let them even know they're supposed to be learning. So yeah, I guess it all depends on what the game is set up like. With a rhythm typing game, there might be some... I guess there's nothing like super obvious you could do. You could give them feedback if they don't press a button according to the beat, I guess. But yeah, it's so important to onboard people into the game correctly and make sure they're having fun. HR of our company asked the dev teams to shift to Linux. I think asking a team to shift to Linux is fine. It is strange to be coming from HR. Yeah, trick the player into learning. Yeah, pretty much. I think of Breath of the Wild. I think Breath of the Wild did a really good job because they have what is essentially like Tutorial Island. And it's the Great Plateau, but you can't leave it. And it lasts for most players about maybe 2 hours, maybe 2 to 3. And in that time, you go through 4 shrines. You get 4 abilities. You can kind of say you get 5, I guess. And you learn all the basics about exploration, sneaking around, ranged attacks, like melee attacks, switching stuff. And it doesn't really feel like, okay, let's go through this linearly because you can approach these in any order you want to. So I really like how they did it. It's not really fair to compare to a AAA game. And yeah, a lot of the problem with tutorials too is if you ever add on to more of the game, you need to make sure players learn that. I think that's why staggering them could also work pretty well. What are the errors in the CLI? This thing? I don't know yet. I'll have to look into that. I haven't investigated. All right, yeah, doing these animations is going to be a little bit annoying. So they move to the right. Then we need to make them stand facing down, I guess. Yeah. So make skeleton stand facing down. Okay. So build that, and then we'll add on this other track. Also, hey, Stybo. I think when you set them walking right, walking toward the adventure with a potion, rather than when walking toward with the potion. Let's see. I don't actually know where that went. No, I think that's correct. It's right here that we have the play facing right. And then they walk to the right. And now they need to be in standing position. So this needs to be 6.21. This is going to be so annoying to work with. But what are you going to do? So then right at this position, we add in a stand facing down. Then they're going to be standing, standing, standing. Then they need to be set to walk left again. It's going to be 6.73333333. And we put that on here. Insert. And this needs to be facing left. Okay, let's go take a look. Thank you, Carson. I appreciate it. I will take a look at that later, probably over the weekend. So we're just looking at the skeleton's walking animation. They're facing left right now. Then they walk over to this. They pick it up. Then they walk to the left. And then they don't stop walking. Whoops. All right, so once they get here, they need to be set back to their standing phase. So we're going to set this to stand facing left. And that is right there at 8.1. All right, so insert a key. And there we go. Is that off? It is off. How's it even possible? I guess where you right click matters. I thought it would just magnetize to that bar. Apparently it didn't. All right, so skeleton animations are done. Now for the timing of all of this, I've got just the thing. I'm not sure this is even communicated well right now. Let's take a look. So adventurer comes into your town, says, I don't feel so good. They're dying from poison. Your character sees this. I feel like there should be a pause in between that. Let's just let this play out. There. Now I can just watch it on YouTube. We already made a video out of it. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. So I'm thinking right at this point, we wait for like a second or two. In real life, you would not wait when someone has an emergency, but just so that the player groks what's going on here, like in between seeing I don't feel so good, there'd be a little bit of a pause, and then I've got just the thing, and then they turn around. In fact, maybe the pause is already fine, and the problem is just that they start moving immediately. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's okay. So I think the delay between the text is okay. Yeah, just don't make the move. Let's try that. So they show a dialogue somewhere. Where is that? Show dialogue. Here it is. And then they just start immediately moving. I don't want that. So I'm basically everything after this point to be shifted farther to the right. Can I easily do that? Oh no. Okay, I kind of can. Yeah, there. And I just push this by like a second. And now let's try that. You figured it out? What's going on? I'm very curious. Yeah, this looks a lot better. And I think after saying I've got just the thing, I think that needs to fade out. Yeah, hide this after throwing the potion. I think hide it before throwing the potion. Also, we do want to fade it out, and I guess we don't have a reference to that. So we need something like what happens in the wake up scene dialogue. Does this fade itself out? It does. Why does the guy have a Comic Sans with no background text while the skeleton has some kind of beige rectangle with its own photo? So in the intro, we did that same thing. And that's the only reason. Just consistency. So I'm not sure. I might want to change that a bit. Yeah, great. Hey, I should have prefaced what I said with probably a dumb answer. I'll write this down over here. Just consistency, which isn't a great answer. Glorp. Hey, Sick. Thank you for the resub. Happy 11 months. Have a bad habit of holding down left click to move everything around. If you hold left click while dragging from the shop, it doesn't display it like if you single click. Oh, I don't even think I knew about that. Interesting. I'll write that down. Where's your original problem that you posted here? Here it is. I should probably copy your I think I figured it out too. Yeah, this. Okay. This Glor promote, I don't even see it. At least not like that. And you know how it makes me feel that I don't see it? Mad. I've got just the emote for it. We're about to see that in the game, although not quite yet. So I need to fade this thing out. Fade duration is what exactly? Intro, scene, fade out duration. So probably 2 seconds. And then it can free itself. This is on the dialogue, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have 7TV. I better Twitch TV though. Public void fade out dialogue. Or like fade out and free dialogue. I don't know, it doesn't matter. So dialogue, fade duration, that's intro dot scene fade out duration. Cool. All right, I want to call that from somewhere over here, but before they actually make it back. So like here's where the dialogue shows right there. I've got just the thing, and then some time passes, then they start walking, they grab the thing, and then maybe right around here, I think it just start fading out. So yeah, let's add another track for calling a method and put this right there. Hide, fade out dialogue. Okay, let's go try that. Hey, Kevin. Oh, I didn't realize you could do that. Wow. Kind of crazy. All right. And then Hideo suggested we turn everything to Comic Sans and a size 200 font. Okay, that did not fade out the dialogue. That faded out the entire game. I don't know how that happened. I think because of this cue free. I think we're freeing the entire scene. I guess we don't even need to do that. Yeah. Technology, amazing. Well, now I want to see this. Is there some like online thing where you can view all the 7TV emotes? I'm reading Glorp as I'm trying to say emotes. Oh, wait. I want to watch the fade out here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. You might even want to fade that out a little bit faster. Divided by 2. Search Glorp. Oh, it's a cat. It's a little kitty cat. All right, what's next? Throw the potion in an arc. How hard would it be to do that? Probably not too hard. Where's the potion? Here it is. No, wait, that's when we pick it up. That's when we throw it. And we're just throwing it in a line. We're going to overhead slam it into the other player. Like spiking it over a volleyball net. So how about this? Like a throw upward like that and make it land at their feet. I think that's pretty good. Stybo, thanks for the sub. Welcome, welcome. All right. So that means that we need some like interim spot where it's actually higher up. Which I guess is as simple as doing that and then just raising this. And then how's that look? Now it's going to go in a perfect like triangle. Boop, boop. And what we want to do instead is set some kind of easing on this. I don't know. Let's do that. I have no idea what I'm doing. Whee! It doesn't look good at all. I think I need easing on this too. That is not how I want that to work. I'm not joking about your 00FF00 default green during combat. That's horrible. For poison? Or for healing? I like it. I think it's nice. Is a game done after the cutscene? So story mode is done. Well, story mode is mostly done. Story mode is 8 bosses and then like 1 extra regular battle if you feel like it. There's no reason for you to do this. Like there's nothing else in the game. But if for some reason you want to keep playing, then you can. But then you unlock Bone Mode. And Bone Mode has 20 scenarios in it. Or will have. Right now it has 10. So right after the 8th boss, you see the end cutscene. So in terms of playtime, it's probably like the 40% mark of the game. But then there are no more cutscenes. We're not going to do any cutscenes for Bone Mode. Maybe if we really wanted, we could have one at the final scenario where someone comes to your town and presents you with a big trophy or something. Like, hey, you're the best businessman. How do we know? Magic. How do we make this not garbage? Interpolation mode, cubic. Oh, that's a lot better. Look at that. Yeehaw. All right, I think we can just leave it at that. How does it look when I just hit play? Oh, whoop. Wait, no, it didn't do anything. I didn't time my ho up with anything. Where is this thing? Why is it not showing anymore? So when I click here. And if I... strange. Oh, because of the reset, I think? Oh, so we got to like go all the way back to where this is shown, which is right there. So as long as we play from here, I think it should be fine. Okay, that's super fast. But it's pretty funny. Yeah, it's too fast. Maybe we don't want easing on this at all. What if I set this to linear? Man, I gotta keep starting it from here. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that a lot. That's perfect. Catch. Well, the funny thing is, he's not catching it because he drinks it from in front of him. Although I could have him catch it and then put it in front of him. Maybe that's slightly better. Well, let's take a look. Let's see how this looks now. Yeah, he should probably catch it and then set it down in front of him. I don't know. Let's see how goofy this looks. It's not bad, actually. Something struck me as a little bit odd, though, as I was watching that. And I think it has to do with them facing right and then facing down. I wonder if we should make them face down a little bit sooner. Let me take a look at that again. Yeah, so right here, they're facing right. And then we bring them the potion. And then they immediately swap now to facing down. I wonder if they should have started facing downward sooner. Figured out what a gist was. Hey, Galaxy Inferno. All right, well, it's not hard to do this. I just don't know if it's going to look good. Do we have make adventurer stand facing down? You only have a skeleton. Okay. Hey, LHB, how you doing? It's nice seeing your cats. They're very fluffy. Are they siblings? Because they look like they're related. Can I show you my cat? Yeah, I'm trying to find a good picture. Oh, here's a good picture. I was playing with her the other day. And this is, oh, she's meowing right now. Ben and Jerry are brothers? Okay, yeah. Yeah, this is our little cat, so. Abby. You want to come in? She knew I was talking about her. She's meowing right outside the door. $400. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. Abby. Hi. Hi, Catso. I absolutely love our cat. I think she's the best. I'm talking to the stream. My wife is like, who are you talking to? I want to get in on this conversation. Abby, come on, sit down. Only saw the 10 cats of that. Like, I know. He's starting a shelter over there. All right, well, the facing down bit, so I don't know if I clicked this already. But right after, somewhere in here, anywhere in here, I think they could just start facing down. So maybe here, insert key. Make adventure stand facing down. Bye, cat. This might not look good. Let's try it. So they walk this way. They're going to face right. Then at some point, they're going to face down. Then they move. Okay, they can't move. It's Zooletic over there. I actually do talk to Abby quite a lot. Can't wait for the release. I can't wait for the release either. Oh man, I put so much work into this, especially the past month. The amount of things we've worked on, like controller support, there's been a lot of localization support. We're still working our way through that. If anyone speaks Chinese, Korean, or Japanese, please let me know because I need help with those. And I still need some German help, although I haven't reached out to the people who've offered it yet. Oh yeah, and Brazilian Portuguese. These 5 languages. Still need help with those. And then we are working on the end cutscene. We did something else that felt pretty big. Oh yeah, achievements. I like achievements. I do think they add a lot to the game. We just need the right graphics for the boss stuff. And this looks like a Steam bug. Why is this happening? Huh. Yeah, now it's fixed. But yeah, achievements in the game. Everything's coming along. It's all coming up Millhouse. Did I close? No, I didn't close it. Here it is. So throw the potion in an arc. Some indication that there's a cutscene. We can do that in a little bit. What was the next thing I wanted to do here? Oh yeah, make the character not move. Well, let's not worry about that yet. Let's get through more of the storyboarding. Get through the rest of the storyboard. We still have a bunch left to do. We're on point number 3. The person drinks it. Maybe cure shows above their head and the poison effect stops and their life goes to 100%. Does it still make sense to apply for German help somewhere, or are you good for that already? I think it still makes sense to apply. If you mean, could you help out? You can definitely help out. I think I might have you written down on the list, though. I'm not sure. Because I don't remember where I even put that list. It apparently wasn't here. I think I moved it somewhere else. But yeah, if you would like to provide some help for that, I can reach out to you once we're ready. The ready point is once French hits 80%, I think. So French is currently at 60%. And Hideo's still finding issues here and there. And I want to fix all those issues so that people don't encounter the exact same ones in German or Italian or anything. So yeah, let's look at the components. Yeah, 70% of the way through scenes, 59% of the way through script. Almost done. Feels like it should be more. Hideo takes extreme exception to these percentages. Maybe it's just, I think it's based on, what is it based on? I don't know. I was going to say maybe it's based on number of strings and not number of words. Maybe it's based on number of words and not number of strings. The percentage when you add more people? I don't think I follow. Are you talking about this? Like I shouldn't be at 17% completion for all of Skelliseller? Because yeah, I don't think I should be at 17%. I don't know why that's the case. Definitely should not be the case. Yeah, I'm not sure. Said you want to add more people when I reach 80%, but I feel I'll hit issues until the end. Oh, well, part of the caveat there was I was thinking I could have the other people just translate strings that are done in French. And that way they'd have enough of a runway. So like you might be 80% done and there might be like 500 more errors in the last 20%. But as long as they translate the stuff you already translated, but just to their language, like German or Spanish, that it should be fine and they shouldn't be held up. Because I assume they're not going to finish 100% before you finish 20%. But yeah, maybe that doesn't pan out. Also, if they do find errors and new strings, I could just fix those too and prioritize them. Have the translate UI in another language in WebLate. Yeah, maybe you're right. Well, no, there could be a way. Like you went through all the ability names, for example, and I think you're going through the item names now. Like whatever category is done, I could just be like, okay, only stick to these categories or these files or something. I could probably make a custom query for them. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, there could be issues to the end. Archification. So every Adam has been an angel for you. Well, welcome in Archification. So what do you need in your life now? How can I help? Get through the rest of the storyboard. Okay, so they're supposed to drink it, and then so they did drink it actually, and then it maybe say cure. I don't know about that. I think just having the poison go away shows that it was cured. So should it heal them? Should the antidote fully heal the adventurer? Yes or no? And I think my own take is like yes would make time to go back to adventuring make more sense. Because like why would you go back to adventuring if you're not at full life? But no makes more sense in terms of how antidotes work in other games. It's not a full heal. Yeah. How about we just start with no and see how that feels? So I guess this part's done. So now they say cool back to adventuring and start to walk away. Okay, so we got to show another dialogue. The person receive a combat potion. Those exist in Pokemon. Yeah, they do in a lot of different games where there's like a heal and a cure combined. I do think it's kind of funny for them to say back to adventuring when they're about to die. There's another alternative here. They could just enter town with more life than like 20% remaining. So maybe they're at like 92% and the poison brings them down to 82% and they go back to adventuring with 82%. That could work. You could see them start to regen with green numbers coming off them maybe. Oh, that's true. That's a good point. I like that idea. We don't even need the green numbers because we have regeneration in the game already. But yeah, I like that idea. Well, except for then they say back to it. Yeah, I think it's fine. Okay. We don't even need the numbers since the base game doesn't show regeneration like that. But they could regenerate. Yeah. Programmer I can be friends with. Don't mind coding alone necessarily because I just like coding. But it sure would be nice to have a friend who understands my frustrations when the examples for some random library I need to use don't work. All right, well, I hesitate to say friend for someone new. I know you're not saying this right now, but the parasocial relationships are real. But I will probably seem like a friend. So strange to say. Anyway, the reason I linked to Discord is because, yeah, I think the community is a good place to talk about that sort of thing. And this is a good place to also have background noise while you're coding. I don't tend to play music unless I'm playing the game. I don't tend to have very loud outbursts. All right, so we need a new dialogue. Back to adventuring. Abby's head is directly on my wrist right now, so I can't move the mouse too much. All right, do we ever use a dialogue more than once within an intro scene? Intro, we only have 5 scenes, right? So wake up is the first one. And there we only have one dialogue, but we only have one piece of text. The next scene, we don't have anything. Then there's the battle. We don't have a dialogue. Then there's the shop, and we only have one piece of text. Dialogue. Oh, is skeleton dialogue? There are 2? Oh, after you're dead. That's right. That is right. So we reuse the current one. Interesting. And it's going to be over a different person here. Set data, show skeleton dialogue. Yeah, I see. Well, either way, we need a new function. Whether or not it's reusing the same dialogue doesn't really matter. Now to bonus the bonus. Where does perk bonus even show up in the game? Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah. If you need a picture for where this shows up in the game, I can show you. But yeah, in general, this is where we show you something like power, and we say like 50, and we say like what is it? Guild supply bonus? Yeah, guild supplies bonus 15, and then perk bonus 35 or something like that. You're not making this easy, mister. I mean, it's not all that easy in English either. But like I said, good enough is good enough. So if you want to call it like perk supplement or something, that could probably work. I wonder if you might have a day job that involves some sort of mental health industry. No, this is my main job. Unless you count babysitting Twitch chat as part of the mental health industry, which some people might. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, whether or not we use the same dialogue doesn't really matter. So where's the other dialogue data that we want? This. So I'll have a dialogue. Show adventure. Wait, no. There's got to be multiple of these, right? Isn't something else going to be said here? That's it. Oh yeah, sorry. So we need multiple dialogues. We should have a skeleton one and an adventurer one, and that way we don't need to do anything special. So let's just rename this one to skeleton dialogue. And let's go make another one for adventurer dialogue. Hey, Davey. All right, so we're going to go copy this. And this will be adventurer text. And it's going to go into adventurer dialogue. And we want the adventurer data or dialogue data. And this would be skeleton dialogue data. Hang on one sec. Just had to close the door. I think the cat went over to my wife. You just say he's babysitting us. Just a joke. Just a joke. Hey, Goose. Other Goose. I'm sure some more coffee in your system will fix this. I wonder how many cups of coffee Hideo has had today. Ran over to my wife. Hey, Sejamara. All right, so what are we saying for this? Cool, back to adventuring. My cat got in her tank and ran over my wife. That's exactly Hideo. All right, new dialogue portrait for this one. This is going to be rude adventurer, or like poisoned adventurer. End cutscene adventurer. That's probably best. Oh, we don't have a special portrait for them. I'm going to need to request art for that, I think. I think it should be easy enough for Quickie Joe to do because he already drew the first portrait. But need the new adventurer's dialogue portrait. So up until now, here's what I'll do. I'll just copy the main workers and we'll just overlook it for now. It feels like they did something to you. Should we be worried? They cured me. My ears are working now. To get food, they can do anything. Oh yeah, definitely. I feed Abby pretty much the same way every single time. I open the can of cat food. I like plop it out on a plate. I like cut it up for her basically. And the other day I'm doing that and she just like bites like a half thing of cat food and like carries it off like it's a wounded animal. I'm gonna give this to you within 20 seconds. She just took it from me. And I had to clean up where she brought it to. That was annoying. What was that duplicated resource loading for portraits? What about it? This thing? I'm using the exact same portrait twice just because we don't have a new portrait here yet. If that's what you're talking about. It replaces oil. Yuck. All right, so cool, back to adventuring. So this is going to be hidden, and we want to show this at some point. I think this is called show dialogue. Yeah, we got to change that. We got to set this to like show skeleton dialogue. And then change it in the editor too. This might break something. Actually, if this does break something, I'm going to have a big problem here. No, there it is. We gotta change this to show skeleton dialogue. Bought one for myself. Weird sensation until I wrote the first item. Yeah, a lot of people I've heard will get a whiteboard for their like personal office or their home. I've never liked physically writing things out. I really, really like writing text though on a computer, typing text. What would you recommend to learn Vim? Isn't there something like Vim Tutor? I think Vim Tutor is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I think Vim Tutor is pretty good. I don't know what people suggest nowadays. So maybe there's a better thing. But yeah, you can use this even in your browser. Well, no, you can't. That doesn't look good at all. I don't know about that. All right, well, anyway, there's something out there called Vim Tutor. Probably not that website. Yeah, but that's a hardware fix, archification. Those are expensive. So now we have show skeleton dialogue, and we need show adventurer dialogue. Adventurer dialogue. And then if this thing is showing, then we want to just duplicate this, I guess. And this will be over the adventurer's position. Okay. Now we want to show that after they've been cured. So they drink the thing, drink. Then this finishes somewhere. I'm just going to put this in the middle of nowhere. And we're going to hope that it looks good. Show adventure. It doesn't exist. I got to hit build. Yeah, it might be installed already. Yeah, I'd suggest that. Easy going. I like writing things physically, but I hate that it's not in my digital notes. That is part of why I don't like writing stuff, but I just don't like the act of writing, and my handwriting's never been good. And when I've written a lot for school, I end up getting like a little sore spot right here, and then my hand kind of cramps up a bit. That's never really happened with typing. So typing is just kind of better for me all around. It's always legible because it's in whatever font you choose to render it in. It's faster. You've immediately got it in a searchable form. You can share it with other people. The rare time that I write something is when I'm writing a card for a friend or family member. That's about it. Or like a very tiny grocery list. Hey, Takemi. I just saw your hands move out of the corner of my eyes. I was very confused. Okay. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. All right, insert key, show adventure dialogue. All right, so we're going to test the timing of this. I might need to move it forward or backward, but it's kind of hard to tell because I don't know how long the drinking animation is. Might need to change it anyway. So they come in, they're poisoned, they're taking damage. I've got just a thing. Then we go and get the antidote. Throw it in a nice arc. Then they open it, drink. And then that's not right. And also they did that way too soon. We could speed up the drinking. So this should have been the human main character, not whatever I just did. So we want to paste that in. Okay, multi-cursor plugins on paper. Have you seen people who can write things with both hands at the same time? I've never met someone like that, but it's a skill you can apparently develop. It's as close to multiple cursors as you'll get, although it'll take you probably years to develop that. All right, cool, back to adventuring, and then they start to walk away. So we still just got to get the timing of this correct. Yeah. Yeehaw. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is speed up that animation a little rather than move the dialogue later. Let me go find that. So here's what this is playing as right now. Oh no, it's not playing at that speed though, because it's cut down to half the speed because they were poisoned. So maybe I should speed up. So it's really playing at this speed, 2.5 frames per second. Yeah, I think I do want it to be at double speed again. Why did I do this? Just because the walking speed? Oh, fine. All right, so set speed scale to 0.5. So once they're cured, we need to set their speed back to normal. I wonder if we can do that through the animation player. We should be able to, right? Property track for the adventurer, speed scale. Yeah, nice. Can I expand this column somehow? Oh, I don't think I need to. I thought this was cut off, but it's not. So there's speed scale. So we want it to go back to normal anytime over here. It doesn't matter where. Yeah, so let's just put this here. Oh, it's going to get tweened though if I do this. So we got to put 2 in. We got to put one like that. So this one's set to 1, this one's set to 0.5. And then it has to actually start at 0.5. So we need to duplicate this and move it back to here. At which point, we don't need to set this through the script anymore. Athletics, thanks for gifting a sub. Galaxy Inferno won't have to watch ads for another month now. Wait, is that going too fast now? Did I mess this up? I think their little legs are moving too fast. Yeah, why is that happening? Man, is this not 0.5? It is 0.5. Maybe I need to have it start before the scene starts? Like negative 0.2? Yeah, it's probably getting set concurrently with starting the animation. Although that doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I think that fixed it though. So now they'll drink the potion at double what their speed used to be. That's a little too fast, I think. I think uncorking it can be that fast, but I don't think drinking it can be that fast. I want them to savor the potion. So how about once I get to here, we do frame duration 2, whoops, 32. You're going to be drinking that potion for a long time. 2 and 2. Okay, let's try that now. Then uncork it. Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Okay, now we got to see if the dialogue is timed correctly with this new sped up animation. Well, yeah, I guess it was overall sped up. Yeah, that's pretty good. So cool, back to adventuring. Now they're going to start to walk away at a relatively slow pace, just for the sake of choreography. And then the game goes into slow motion to indicate what your character is thinking. Text shows on the screen, moving upward and moving upward and fading away. Rags to riches, dedicate my life to the shop. Just want to be an adventurer. Can't you see I'm a skeleton? I love this. I love this so much. All right. So they got to start to walk left. So where's the show dialogue call? Right there. So cool, back to adventuring. Let's give them about 1.5 seconds or so to process that. So we'll put this here, then they'll start walking. So where is the character? They're there. So insert a thing there, and then insert one over there. Should we change the order of this? These are your internal thoughts, and then you say that's it? Yeah. That's fine. Not change the order. I don't want to do that. All right, so they're going to walk away. They got to be in the right... We got to make something happen with a potion bottle. I'm going to ignore that for now. But they do have to be in the right animation. So we need to set their animation right here. This is 17.3667. Click. Perfect. All right, so it's going to be facing left. And then they're going to start to move left, of course. So let's make them move like roughly thereabouts. You still need to be able to see where they are. And they're going to be moving pretty slowly. Yeah. So they move. And then as they're moving away, I wanted to like zoom in on the skeleton. And somehow indicate this stuff. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult. Hey, Jaso. Game goes into slow motion to indicate that your character is thinking. So we can slow down the whole animation player. Right? I'm pretty sure we can do that. Animation player. A dot speed scale. Yeah, speed scale. We could do that. I don't really think we need to because there are no animations going on. You're just standing there. So we'll zoom in on your character. And I just don't know how to represent this. Like I have an idea in my head, but I don't have enough like cinematography skill. I don't think the slow motion matters. I think it'll just be a little like text blobs just floating away. And then we zoom out afterward. Let's try that effect. So we got to zoom in the camera on the skeleton. Property. The camera's not even in this scene. That's too bad. Is in the parent scene. I don't even have that scene open. There's the camera. I want to be able to zoom this in and out. Don't I do this in... I do this in one of the scenes, though. I do it in the shop scene. So I must just do it through code? Yeah, zoom camera in. Here it is. Zoom position. And we do this twice? All right. Well, sure. Let's copy this over there. I've said a bunch of times that this is going to be a mess. It's just a dumping ground for stuff. So scene move tween doesn't exist. Initial camera zoom. We set this somewhere. I think yeah, I guess we should just get this here. Thanks, Leap Year Girl. Hope you have a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday. So this is going to be the outro camera zoom. The duration of this, if they're dead, 0.1 seconds. What was that supposed to mean? Because I think it zooms in very abruptly. Oh, man. I don't... it's too bad. I want someone to like consult on this and tell me what looks best. I'm going to do what my poor imagination can envision here. But I don't think it's going to look very good. So we're going to zoom to roughly double what we're currently at, I suppose. Initial camera zoom times 2. Do that over the course of, I don't know, 1.4 seconds or something. This part doesn't matter. I don't care about the timing. That we can fix later. Then at the same time, we're going to move the position of the camera to the skeleton. And yeah, sure, I guess we should make a property out of this. Float tween duration equals 1.4f. Then replace these things with tween duration. Time scale doesn't need to change. All right, so all we're doing is we're going to zoom in the camera and move it to where the skeleton is, and then have a bunch of anxieties show up on stream. On screen, excuse me. All right, so click this build button. You need to click the build button so that any new functions make it into the animation player. So now when we go look at the animation player, right around here, so wait, here they say cool, back to adventuring. Then they start walking away. And then somewhere around like here-ish, we're going to zoom in the camera. All right, let's try timing. And what else are we looking at here? Timing and whether the zoom actually looks good. I need the right graphic for them. Also, this didn't zoom in nearly enough. I want to like super zoom in on them. Maybe 4 times as much. And their animation changed when they face left because I never changed this facing left. Yeah, I got to delete all these. 16 by 20, zoom in, left. There. Can I skip ahead in the animation player? I probably can. Because I just need to start somewhere around like the 14-second mark. I hope I can do that. Or maybe you know what I could do? I could set the speed scale to be like 5x until it gets to 14 seconds and then slow it down. Yeah, that would work. That's pretty smart, I think. All right, first let's do the animation player. So we only ever get this here. And we only ever do it for the sake of starting this thing. So let's save this off. Private animation player. Animation player. Cool. Get it in ready. Good. Replace this with that. Set the speed scale to massive. 10. And then have a function here. Public void debug set animation speed back to normal. To do delete me. Cool. I want to write a note about this. I think it's an interesting technique. I don't know where we write it. Godot. Probably in here. I don't know. It's just a technique. Would I even think to look this up again in the future? Maybe not. Well, let's try it. So now it's going to go at turbo speed for 1.4 seconds, just zipping through everything that happens. And then I don't think it ever slowed down. No, I never called it. That's right. Yeah. So at roughly this mark, I want to slow this down. So yeah, now it'll go to turbo speed till 14 seconds and then slow down to normal. Yeah, so they drink it. Okay, cool. This is going to be great for testing. So I'm trying to get it so that they're off the screen, and I can't seem to do that. I need to like really zoom in on this thing. But I wanted to zoom in. No, maybe I shouldn't zoom in on them. I don't want 2 zoom in effects. I have one here and I have one here, and we need to get it on this one because you've got the angry face at the end. Okay, here's what I'm picturing. I think we go with a slow-mo. So we slow down the walking. I think we like remove the color from the game. And then put a like a semi-transparent screen over the top of everything. And then show the text effects on the screen. But how is it going to be clear that you're the one thinking these things? We'd have to zoom in on you. All right, I don't know. I don't have any ideas. I think we just try to zoom in. Maybe do all those things. Also kind of weird panning while it's zooming. I don't think there's a way around that though. If I'm doing two separate tweens like this, or two separate property controls. We could just move the camera. No, we can't move it first. What if this one's linear? Does that make it look any better? No. No, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible. Unless this one's also linear. There's just no easing. I don't think there's a such thing as no easing. Oh, wait. Maybe if we just... No, wait. Yeah, there isn't a way to have no easing. It's got to be set to one of these things. The animation skip, I see there's advance. Not sure that's what you wanted. I'm just speeding it up. We could probably have just advanced it, but the problem with advancing it is I wasn't sure if it would run everything in between. So like, let's say at the 5-second mark, we make something visible. And then at the 10-second mark, we move that thing. What I was concerned about is if we had something like advance or just set the time to the 10-second mark, that the thing would be invisible and then we'd move an invisible thing. Whereas by setting the speed to like 10x, then we go through all the steps the same way so that we know that when we get to time equals 10, we've gone through time equals 5. Regardless, this is just a debug thing that I'm using. I think I even named the function with debug in it. So that part's not an issue. The issue I'm having more, the real issue I'm having is the creative part of this. Like, how do I indicate that in the moment that this guy walks away, that your skeleton realizes that he took for granted that he got an antidote? And I kind of like this idea. So yeah, let's go try that because I don't think the zoom thing is going to work. Let's delete this. Although it'll work for when you're angry. Yeah, we got to probably tween this in a different way. Anyway, so slow-mo. So we would... I guess let's put that back in and let's just change what this is. Or put it in the same general spot. Or like right around here it could start to go in slow-mo. Yeah. Public void start slow motion. Start slow motion. All right, so we said the animation player speed scale equals something slower. Then we want to do all these other things I said. Remove the color from the game. Don't know how we'll do that. We need a shader on the whole screen. Let's ignore that part for now then. Let's just put the semi-transparent screen over the top of everything, which you already have in the scene as screen cover. Screen cover. What do we do with this thing up until then? We fade it out. And we call show on it. I want the show up here. Does fade out have a show on it to begin with? No, it doesn't. Fade in does though. Show this thing and fade it out. Now it's not there. So I want to fade this thing back in, but only to partial opacity. I don't think fade in lets you do that. I think it's only the full opacity. Yeah, it's only a full. That's okay though. We can just copy this. Okay, so item is screen cover. We're starting it at 0. We're showing it. It's already that way though. This is technically unnecessary. So like, to remove these lines. I can just remove them now. There is no existing tween, so we just create one. Then we modulate to like 0.3 or 4 over the course of who knows how long. Transition type and whatever else doesn't even matter. Quad and out. Sure. And then what else did I have written here? Show the text effects on the screen. So now after some amount of time, like this would happen, and then we do tween dot call method. Tween callback. What's the difference? I don't know the difference. Well, we don't ever use call method. What do I do in the shop thing? Tween method. That's for tweening a particular thing. I want to just call something. I think there it is. Tween callback. Switch to next scene. Yeah. Okay, that's what I want. I already forgot the name of it. Can't believe that. Tween callback. No, this can't be right. This has to be wrong, right? Creates and appends a callback tweener. This method can be used to call an arbitrary method. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that works. All right, so at this point, we want to show some text on the screen. So I guess we'd add in a rich text label here. And just write, this is a test. This is like thought 1. And say in this one, this is another test. Now these would show up on the screen. Want both of these to be fit and no clipping. And probably no word wrapping either. So this is a test. And let's put this one over here. These should be in screen coordinates. We're going to hide these by default. And I'm going to now have them show. Actually, the animation player could have them show. So I don't even need this. But we know that it's going to be happening at 0.2 of the regular speed scale. At which point, why are we even doing this? Probably shouldn't. All the slow motion stuff can just be done in the animation player itself. Okay. Well, then time to go tweak that. So delete that, add a new track, property of the animation player itself. I want to change the speed scale on it. And we're going to set that to 0.2. Which means we need another one of these beforehand that sets it to 1. So it's going to... No, actually, we could tween that down. That way it looks like the adventure is kind of grinding to a halt. So they start moving here. And between there and when they get like there-ish. Will this work if I hit play? Yes, it will. Okay, yeah. I wanted to like really grind to a halt though. So maybe not even 0.2, but like 0.05. Yeah, exactly. So now this would let the text show up on the screen. It would give us a lot of time. Because now it's like Inception. We're moving at 20x the time in this dream world. Okay. You know, things are going well when I'm using Inception to describe something. We should probably even slow it down more than that. Maybe like 1% or 2%. Yeah. Okay, so how long do we have? I guess let's not try to figure out the exact amount of time here, because all that really matters is, do we have enough time for the player to understand what text is showing up on the screen and the humor of all this stuff? Because we have until this point, which is 19 seconds exactly, and we shrink this down to 1%. So how does that work? No, it's 2%. So 1/50th. So 1/50th of 0.87 seconds. That can't be right. Is that right? Does it take 40 seconds to get there? Oh, maybe it does. Okay, well, we don't need 40 seconds. So now somewhere along the way, we got to pop up some text effects. Yeah. Let's get the modulate of the thought. And this is going to be really tough because we got to like super zoom in here. Because yeah, our time scale is very messed up. We're going to do something like that and set this to, set this one like so. And then keep the thoughts present on the screen. And same thing for thought 2. And then I want to move these as well. This is the most ambitious cutscene. All right, I do that. So these should just start with a modulate of basically nothing. Yeah, they already do. All right. Now we go over to here and we hit play. So they start walking slowly away. Text should be appearing on the screen. I don't see it. Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. I think I waited too long. Let's just try this. Why isn't this going at turbo speed? Okay, that looks hilarious. I don't slow down the animation on the sprite. It's kind of what I want, but oh man, that's really funny. Okay, so if we're gonna change the animation speed here, we got to change the animation speed on the sprite as well, which I actually have, as long as that's the correct sprite. It is. Yeah. All right. So we need this to be in the same spot. So 17.7333, whatever. So insert one here and make sure that's at the right spot. It is. Now put this one over here too. And then go from a speed scale of 1. Why is it set to 0.5? What? Shouldn't that be 1? It is 1. Why is that 0.5 then? Let's set that to 1. And let's set the next point. There's the next point. Set that to 0.02. It's got to match whatever the other one is. So it looks like we slowed down the whole game. If we're going to slow down the whole game, though, we could have just changed the engine timescale. But then it wouldn't work when we replayed in the animation player. So now their animation is going to slow down drastically. So they're not even taking a step right now. But they will eventually. We should see their foot move. Come on. Come on. I don't remember what the original speed is. So if it's running at 5 frames per second, it's now going to be a lot longer. Yeah. Did it move yet? It might not even be playing an animation right now. So this might be pointless for me to look at. Strange. Is it playing an animation? I don't think it does. I think it only knows through code whether it's playing an animation. Maybe not, though. I'll look at that later. All right, so the text effects, I don't think it made the screen cover thing work. I gotta go find that. Screen cover, modulate. Okay, so once this slows down, I want to fade in the screen cover thing. So I'll go from here to here. This might mess everything else up. So now I think it's a black rectangle somewhere. No, it's not even showing up because I think it's hidden by default. Yeah, it is. And I didn't even mean to make it a black rectangle. I want it to be like 0.3, which is like 75, I guess. Yeah, so that's more like what I want. Okay, what's going on with my turbo speed thing? It's right here, but I think the animation player gets a reset property on it of speed scale of 1. Yeah, which is why we can't do things that way. We'd have to put this here, and then I think it'll work. It didn't fade in. No, there's a problem. And it didn't do the speed scale thing either. Although the not fading in is what I'm more concerned with. I guess we shouldn't do this through the code. I don't know about that. All right, well, I guess we can set the speed scale through this. Although, why do I have a debug reset? I could just do all this through the animation player. Yeah. It's called thinking, Adam. You should try it sometime. That's not the right one. Okay, so I'll put this here, insert a key. This is going to be at a speed of 10. And then once we get to time 14, where we used to be calling a method here, we now delete it and instead put the speed scale back to 1. Good. Good. It should actually work in the editor now too, I think, but now let's try this out. So it's going to go turbo speed until they drink the potion. Then it slows down to normal. And now we should see... Yeah, okay, this is exactly what I wanted. And this is what I was thinking about. The dialogue is still there with back to adventuring, though. Which, maybe we keep that. You can see the text showing up on screen. This is a test, this is another test. This needs to be gigantic. It's going to be your thoughts, and it's going to be angled a little bit weirdly. So like a 45-degree angle for this, a 30-degree angle for this. And it's got to be like floating upward. Yeah, but otherwise, I think this is looking pretty good. I want to fade this out too. All right. This is coming together. I think it's communicating what I want to communicate. The dialogue we can't easily fade out though. All right, I don't know what we do about that. You have to make it through code. Or we just fade it out completely when we're here. That could work. We fade out the original dialogue, right? Yeah, here, fade out. This is fade out skeleton dialogue. So we also want to fade out the adventurer dialogue. Okay. Now we got to change something up here. Wherever we called fade out skeleton or fade out dialogue, now it needs to be a new thing. Problem is I don't know where that is. Fade out dialogue right there. Changes to fade out skeleton. And then somewhere over here, when we start slowing things down, just right in here, I guess. Yeah, as soon as we start fading in this, that's when I want to fade out the dialogue. And this lasts over the course of... It's actually almost impossible to tell how long this is unless you just measure it. Because it starts fast and gets slower, so you can't just measure the time between these. You'd also need to know how this thing is tweening. I'm not going to bother trying to figure that out. We're just going to see if this all looks good. So let's just put in a fade out adventure dialogue and try it. Hey, Adam, I'm going to bed, Adam. Bye, Adam. Bye, Ramy. Enjoy bed, Ramy. Have a good weekend, Ramy. Oh, no, that's exactly what I want. Great. I want it to happen a little bit slower, maybe. Especially this particular fade out. I don't know why we're doing this though, Raimi. But yeah, have a good weekend. Normal font size. I want this to be pretty big. They should all be random sizes. Because again, this is supposed to be like your anxious thoughts going through your head and how you're annoyed by this person. So this one's going to be 42 pixels. This one's going to be 36. They're going to have random rotations on them. It's really hard to see this. Well, that makes it a lot easier. All right, random rotations. How do we rotate? Layout, transform, rotation. Okay, something like that I was thinking. And they should be rising or falling as well. So we're going to put this here. We're going to put this one at a slightly different rotation somewhere else. There we go. All right, so what are the thoughts? Let's actually fill them in with what I was thinking here. Rags to riches. Dedicated my life to this shop. I want them all to end in ellipsis. I just wanted to be an adventurer myself. Not driven my logic at all. Sounds good, Raimi. Take care, Raimi. All right, this one can go here. Maybe we don't rotate this one as extremely. There's a W at the end. Font size should probably change slightly. Let's lower it a bit. Can't you see I'm a skeleton? Hilarious. This one should be big. Like 48. And then move it. Oh, we can rotate it right through here. There. I worked to the bone to achieve it. Jesus. Okay, yes. Let's put that there. All right. Shrink this one down a little bit. And then rotate it. And then move it. And if we're going to rotate it, I guess we need to do something like that. There we go. Okay, so yeah, all these thoughts are just going to get blasted onto the screen here. And timing-wise is really hard to tell, so I don't know what we should set this to. So let's go add tracks for all of that. Thought 3. Modulate. Can I rearrange these? You can't? Huh. I mean, I could... Can I do it here? Oh, hey, there's go to previous step and next step. I wanted that earlier. But can we reorder the tracks through this? I don't see it. That's fine. Maybe it's this. Group tracks by node or display them as a plain list. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, well. I'll do that later. It's okay if screen cover shows up in the middle. So let's add the other ones. Thought 4. Modulate. And thought 5. Modulate. Okay, and they're all going to look like this. I'm just going to paste these over here. Paste, paste, paste. And I want them to show up like kind of close to one another. So maybe like that, maybe like that, like that, like that. Whoops. I messed that one up. Okay, so how's that look? Then they just need to move upward and then fade out probably. So this is normal speed now. Ignore all the turbo speed at the beginning. So back to adventuring. They start to walk away. And now there's a way too long delay between when the text starts showing up. Yeah, and that's taking a very long time as well. Okay, but this is a good idea. I like how this is panning out. It just needs to be way, way faster. So maybe what we should do is instead of changing the speed scale down to 0.02, we change it to 0.05. So that's going to multiply by 2.5 times the speed. and then we just try again. I think there's still going to be too long of a delay. It's just hard to think in this like speed scale. Yeah, so it's still waiting a little bit too long. But I like this. I want to populate it with maybe another like 4 or 5 thoughts. Just kind of rapid fire show up on the screen. So the screen cover gets modulated like this, and then it just takes a long time. So we should make this not take quite as long. And then all of these are taking too long. So I move these back. And maybe, well, let's try that before I go any further. Okay, this is better, but the timing is still off. And I think it's because of, well, for one, I think this is ending too late. I think we move all of these back a little bit more. I want it to be slightly in between, but we only have so much granularity here. Maybe if I zoom in more, I'll get better granularity. No, it still snaps to these. Is it snapping there for a reason? Yeah, nearest FPS. Yeah. I want to change this to like, I don't know, 1/10 the amount. So now I can drag it anywhere. Yeah, perfect. Whew. Okay, that's good. And they start getting faster and faster. So yeah, I think we need like another 5 thoughts on the screen. And then they all like vanish. And that's when you say, whoa, wait. Like, that's it? Yeah. I think it's looking pretty good. I'm going to have to rap about this. I like it, but I don't think I can put it in. I don't, yeah. I don't think it's going to be obvious to the average person watching like what that means. And I think the existence of the rap is already a big enough Easter egg where someone's not going to need another reference in the game to discover it. Dedicate my life to this shop. What does this one say? Just want to be an adventurer myself. So I think I have all the ones that I came up with and then Raimi's one as well. So let's try to come up with all of them, I guess. Nope, that didn't work. Okay, so rags to riches, dedicate my life to the shop. I just wanted to be an adventurer myself. Can you see I'm a skeleton? No one got me an antidote. What else? Why would he just assume I have one? I worked so hard. I mean, this is kind of duplicated. How many more do I need? I just delete those. I want to get to 10. Stupid entitled adventurers. What else? We just need one more. Adventures these days. I think this one encapsulates that a little bit more pointedly, maybe. I'm tempted to write sample text. This was like a very old video editing meme, but I don't think it's going to communicate well. Well, let's just start with those. I don't think we need 10 exactly. As long as we can fill the screen with some text and communicate that there's a lot going through your head. And you're not very happy about this. That's the point. So no one got me an antidote. Let's go get this. This one will have BB code because we're going to change me into italics, which means we need to have an italic font. Hopefully it's just working by default. All right. Why would he assume I have one? one does not need BB code. Why would he just assume I have... He didn't really, right? Why isn't this a big deal for him? Yeah, something like that. And then I worked so hard. And then stupid entitled adventurers. Cool. Now we got to go position all of those. And as mentioned, these should get faster and faster that they pop up on the screen. So we need thought 6. Thought 7. I'm going to save before we go any further. Thought 8. And thought 9. There. All right, and the same general thing going on here. I'm just going to copy paste these down to this one. Make them show up faster and faster. This one. This one. Okay, we'll control the exact timing in a little bit. They should all also move a little as well. And then now for the rotations and everything. So we got to put thoughts 6 through 9 at a different spot. So that one's pretty good there. That one can take up this part. That one can go over there. And that one can go there. Now for the rotations. This one's actually fine as is. This one should be rotated a little differently. Let's put that like that. Put this one like so. And this one should be a lot larger. Yeah, and then we just need it to not collide. This is only going to work in English. I just realized. A tip would have been nice. He is actually going to tip. He actually hasn't paid you at all yet. And that's going to be part of the humor. Actually, if these collide, it's not really such a big deal. Because the point isn't necessarily to be able to read all of them. And I think someone would have to like freeze frame here to see what they even say. Because I don't plan on giving you long enough to read every single little piece of text. That would ruin the joke. Where's that one? There it is. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's go take a look at that. Should be slightly faster. Yeah, should be slightly faster. Wait, but in what way? Let me just watch it again on YouTube, I guess. Yeah, so the first text should appear sooner. So we want to select all of these. How do we get this to look like that? Yeah, there. So all this to be moved to the left a bit. And then, did I want them to show up faster one after the other? It doesn't seem too bad. I just think the first one should be sooner. And then it needs to end, of course. And get you out of that screen. Yeah, okay, this is pretty good. Yeah, I think this is good timing. That me is very tiny there. Which kind of makes it funnier. But that was unintentional. So let's go fix that one. That is change the italic font size to 39 as well. That'll fix that problem. Man, we still have like 2 or 3 more hours of work on this at least. Yeah, so then it cuts out. I should get the cutting out timing. And then it should also speed up. Ah, man, there's a lot. even with just this part we got to fix. So it plays all that. The next steps are going to be, so like fade the screen cover out again, and then show a dialogue for the skeleton saying, that's it. Yeah. I wish I automatically set for all of them. Yeah, I think that's why you should generally use themes for this stuff. This is one of the rare cases where we just picked random font sizes. Like yeah. Most of the time you would not be picking like 14 different font sizes for a project. You'd have like a small font size and a medium font size and a large font size, and they'd be standardized across your project. Throw dialogue for the skeleton saying that's it. At some point, speed needs to come back to normal. And it's got to be as the skeleton, as the other person's walking away, but they couldn't have made it that far yet. Speed the game, speed the animations up again after the player has had like 1.5 seconds to read. That's it. Yeah, that's how it should work. Okay, so you got to fade the cover back out, or back, whatever, the other direction. So probably right around like here. And then time is very fast here, or slow here, whatever. So let's see how that looks. So it fades this stuff in. That last one, there's a little bit of a delay there. I kind of want to speed all of this up. Oh, nope, that's not what I want to do. Select those. Good. No. It's selected too much. Why can't I select this? There we go. Cat's meowing like crazy out there. All right, rags to riches. Dedicate my whole life to this job. Yep. Nice. Okay, then that fades out. I don't think it should wait that long. I think it should be very shortly thereafter. Yeah, so everything should fade out at that same point. And then when we add the letterboxing, we need to make sure it doesn't cut these things off. Where's the letterboxing? Here, yeah. Make sure it doesn't cut off the text in the anxiety section. Okay, so I think this would be a pretty cool effect to fade all of this out. But if we just put them all under the same node, we could just fade the node out. Let's do that. Control. And put this here. And we'll call this something like thoughts container. So at the same time that we do this right here, we're going to go add in a property for the container. Insert and good. And then same thing for this. Insert and fade the whole thing out. So that'll make all of them go away at exactly the same rate. Yeah, perfect. In fact, had we put that above screen cover, we could have just done it for screen cover. All right, so that all fades out. And then what I say, you got to fade in your text. So fade that out again. Show a dialogue saying that's it. So there's going to be a new skeleton dialogue. Public void shows skeleton dialogue 2. So we fade that in again and we change the text of it. How do we do that? Set data. So text is going to be that's it. Cat is like angrily meowing outside. I don't know if you can hear that. It's so close to food time for her. I think my wife's going to feed her. Might hit better if the text fading out is delayed slightly compared to the background fade out, like the thoughts are still lingering. Yeah, I'll write that down. I think that could potentially work out pretty well. All right, so you say that's it. Get the main worker, no dismiss. Create it. We don't need to create it, nor add it. We just need to set data. All right, let's see. I hope this pays off. You know, I'm going to spend so much time on this. This cutscene alone is going to have taken me like probably 12 or 16 hours by the time it's done. And it'll all be worth it if someone's just like, haha, that's pretty funny. I almost want this one to be in bright red. Okay, this is lasting a really long time. What is going on? Did I forget to save? I'd forgotten to save. Yeah, I did. I would say forever is a pretty long time. Okay, that's maybe a little too fast. And I never called the new function. A little too fast. I think we do this and this. Did it select those? No, it did. I think we move this to the right just a smidge. And then up here, after fading that back in, we call our function show dialog 2. Where does that need to be? Like there? Yeah, well, especially for these cutscenes, it's like the intro cutscene is doing pretty well at setting the tone of the game, getting the humor across in the game. So now the outro cutscene needs to be like worthy of the amount of time you spent in the game. Yeah, so that should wait a little bit longer. And then we wait for it to take a little bit. Maybe now we start speeding things up. Yeah, so here's the speed scale we have. This is for the animated sprite. I want this for over here. And I don't know where exactly I want to line this up with, so let's just put it there for now. And then put these over here. Now this one gets faster and faster. So what looks like it would normally be 1 second will actually be longer than that. So maybe we put it like there. I don't know. Yeah. And I want to call some function just to make sure that we can tell how long has progressed. So what I'm going to do is we're going to copy this, even though I don't want this to happen. I want to put that there and that right after it. So when the screen turns dark is when the speed is back to 1. Oh my God, I can't do this. It's got to be like right there. All right, well, I'm kind of messing this up, but it'll give us a general idea of how long this show's for. They drink their potion. They start to walk away. Skeleton's like, what? Actually, back to adventuring would be a pretty good quote. Yes, that's speeding up way too fast. Way too fast. This should be bumped out to like here. In fact, maybe we show the dialogue just before that. Yeah. Back to adventuring is what I was thinking. But do I add a 10th thought? Do I change one of these? Like this one could be... I always have to debate between writing it the way a novel would write it or writing it the way a programmer would write it. This is how a programmer would write it. I think we should do it the proper way in English. Yeah, sure, that'll work. We'll just replace the thought for now. In fact, can't we just test this out over here? Well, we can only sort of test it out. Yeah, we can't really test it out. Programmer brain rot. I should speed through this part now. This is pretty good. Yeah, so this is still happening way too fast. I don't totally understand why it feels that fast. It doesn't look like it's that fast in the timeline. Are we running out of seconds here? Because we could just set this to 45 or something. Yeah, now that I see it zoomed out, this is a very tiny amount of time. It looked like it was a lot longer when I was zoomed in. Someone needs to tell this man how time works. Oh yeah, that's super tiny. What was I thinking here? I thought we were spending 1.5 seconds. We were spending like 0.1 seconds. So this is the one. Yeah. This was just silly. We just had to move this like way over here. Like way over here. And then we can put my marker. I don't care about the marker. But that would go aligned with it. Like that. All right, let's try it. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And then we can time the next thing where we need to. I'm not going to do that yet. Everyone wrote it down, they'd omit it, and it would drive me crazy. Well, leading zeros might not mean anything, depending on the system. I've seen something sort of similar. I guess I think with like health insurance sometimes. Actually, I'm not positive that's true. Maybe I think it's something slightly different. All right. So dialogue shows up, speed up animations. So it might be better if the text fading out is slightly delayed. Let's see what that feels like. So we do this here in thoughts container. So rather than fade it out immediately, we could just push this. Where's the rest of this happen? Right there. We could just push this to the right a little bit. See how that feels. Oh, so it's not like a lot of leading zeros. It's literally just one. All right, so this text is all going to fade out after the screen fades back in a little bit. That does look good. Good job, Flare. Yeah. I think so, at least. Man, it's kind of hard to tell. Kind of hard to tell anything anymore. I've been looking at this for so long. Speed scale. I want to find the speed scale of the animation player. There it is. And I want it to be super speedy all the way up until here. So that every time I play this again, I can skip another like 2 seconds. So now they'd go to a standing position, and that's when the rest of the stuff would play out. They're not quite far enough away, though. Okay, so make the adventurer stand after you what's a word I'm trying to say? I guess after you address them. So then what are they gonna say? Oh, sorry, yeah. Just copy paste all this in here. Add adventurer dialogue. They toss a coin your way. It says plus 50G, 25G tip when it hits you. They say keep the change as they walk away. Zoom in on your face as it gets angry. Fade to black. Ah, nice. All right. Whew. Well, I think this is a pretty decent stopping point. I've gotten quite a lot done here. Didn't even run the script. What was it talking about? Started working on the end cutscene today. I think today was a bit shorter for both streams, right? I think I only streamed for like 4 hours. 4.5. That's not too bad. Only streamed for 4.5 hours because of a doctor's appointment. Got about 80% of the way through the cutscene. Maybe like 75%. I don't know. I think we'll spend at least Monday morning working on this. Although I'm kind of tempted to just put some more time into it now. So if we get rid of the extra speed scale that we have, like this is set to 1. So if we delete this node, can you just disable this? No. All right, so we just delete this. Here's what we have so far for the cutscene. It's not perfect. We have a little bit of polish to apply to it. But yeah. So an adventurer comes into your town. They're poisoned. You know this yourself. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. I think it'd be better with music and sounds and everything too. Hey, who cares? Games still getting created out in the world. Yeah. Yeah. I think having progress every day is not an expectation people should probably have in a lot of cases. Like taking a break can be almost just as productive if your next day back is better. It's why people take vacations. All right. So, yeah, I think this is starting to come together. I should probably check in what I've done so I don't lose anything. Before moving forward, check in what I've done. Oh, man. Okay, well, thank you all for watching. I will probably not raid, actually. Should I raid? I should probably raid. Oh, hey, I'm starting soon. Hey, hang on one second. Okay. Yeah, let's raid M. M's gonna be doing some audio stuff, probably. Oh, no, wait, Jackbox. Well, let's still raid M. All right. Well, thanks again, everyone. I'll be back on Monday. We'll probably finish up with the ending cutscene. And then there aren't too many days I'll be streaming, I think, in the next like week and a half. So yeah. Take care. Have a good weekend. I want to say hi to M, everyone.